two.
Good evening. This is Concord TV's live election coverage on November 7th, 2023. And I'm Charlie Russell, and we're going to be going down the races. We may have an interview or two. We'll have some film from out at the polls, but it was, I guess, a very active election day. And my co-host is Roger Brooks. He's going to tell us a little bit about what was going on, and he observed the campaign pretty closely through the fall.
Well, you know, it was a lot easier this year to really get into what the candidates were about, and there was a dynamic to the candidates, and thanks to Concord TV, thanks to Patch and Concord High for supporting all those forums, but you could really see the beginning interviews were, especially for the non-incumbents, the challengers, their issues were much narrower, but as it went on, they're kind of coalesced around 3 to 5 issues that were the real issues of the race.
Yeah. Well, we take our hats off to the candidates that put their name out there. It's not easy. This was a very competitive year. In the past 2 municipal elections, there were only 2 wards that were contested, and this time there were 8 wards contested. There's 4 open seats. Wards, let's see, 2, 8, and 9 are open, and Byron Champlin is an at-large councilor looking to move up to be mayor. So there'll be at least 4 new people on the council. Incumbents are not known for losing in city elections. They've had more trouble in getting reelected, not a lot, but more so in school board elections. So we'll be watching that tonight. We'll be watching turnout. Turnout was down to 3,600 last time, and probably 3 election cycles ago it was over 5,000. So I'd look for a turnout over 5,000 given the competitive races. What other issues did you see out there?
Well, I think first and foremost, people talked about housing, affordable housing and market housing. The issue of homelessness was a big issue, and candidates were nuanced in their approach to it, but all of them acknowledged that it's a big issue. Some were concerned about rising crime, some were more concerned about putting structures in place so that people aren't evicted, and also getting mental health support for those people.
Yeah.
Another big issue was keeping our workforce, especially first responders. First responders, we have openings in firefighters and police, also in the teaching staff, and so most candidates wanted to keep that intact and grow it instead of making any cuts. I think another big issue is that the property tax base was of concern for all candidates. And some candidates wanted to grow the base by increasing having more companies come in, and also feeling that Concord is used to a certain amount of benefits from their city government, and they didn't see it was going to be easy to cut back. Other candidates saw property tax as, let's make it lower, or let's use a fine-tooth comb to pare away those little pieces, and try and stabilize it.
Yeah, well, you know, Dylan had a song that we grew up with and still around. The times are changing. You know, the mayor is moving on to other things after 16 years as mayor. I think he did another 8. And we've got 3 councilors that aren't running again. Ward 2, Earl Pierce, he did, I think, a couple of terms.
2 terms, that's right.
And Gail Matson, I think she's done 3 or 4 up on the south end of the Heights, Ward 8. And Candace White Bouchard, I can't tell you, she's done it probably at least 4, and she did quite a few on the in the state legislature. So opportunities are there. We have a 5-person race with In the at-large race, we have 3 running in District A, which is wards 1 to 4, and that's an open seat. Tom Croto stepped in to fill it. Tom has done yeoman work on the school charter commission, as well as at least 2, if not 2.5 terms. And another 3-person race is up in Ward 8, the open seat for Mattson left, Kate Siku, and Dennis Susi. Dennis Susi, hats off to Dennis, standing for election the 8th time.
Yeah.
He's pushing for Bob Swiker's record, who I think on the 8th time tied Roy Swiker's father, and he lost the flip of the coin. I think on the 9th time he got elected. So again, hats off to those of you that put their name on the ballot and the courage it takes, and they're going to look into your life and everything else.
Well, I think what's important is what you said about change, and we just don't know yet what kind of change that will be. In some of the wards, many of them are very, very competitive, and frankly have fantastic candidates that have very little differences about them, where others, there's a significant difference. And so I thought that some of the challengers align themselves more with the National Party than I've seen in a long time in Concord. And so that could portend a change. Concord has elected Democrats for quite some time in the partisan races,
Yeah.
but several of the candidates for these nonpartisan jobs openly identified themselves and said that that would make them a strong candidate because of their relationship with the Republican Party.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting dynamic there. I don't know how it's going to end, but you know, what Concord TV does is it covers the local elections. And you know, we can look at any statewide newspaper and it's going to just short shift these local candidates. And I think this year, more than any that I can remember, Concord TV stepped up and gave a wide berth to all these candidates on multiple times.
Yeah, we'll take our hats off to Josh and Matt and Mike and some of the others. It's a great job they do. And on the Republican note, Bob Washburn as a Republican, did get elected for a few times, more than a few times, and ran for mayor. So there have been some Republicans elected. I think the city shifted back in the late 80s and into the 90s. And but the other thing that's always amazed me is the presidential primaries coming up in 2.5 months, and I've often wondered why some of the candidates didn't use the municipal election 2.5 months before as a field operation for helping candidates, getting out the vote, et cetera. And I guess we'll look at, not that it's a nonpartisan election, but we'll look to see if certainly Andrew Georgievitz is the Republican city chair. He's running in an up in Ward 9 on an open seat against Schultz, who is a state rep. So it'll be interesting to see.
And Dennis Susi
is certainly a Republican as well, yeah.
That's one of the reasons you should vote for him.
Yeah.
And then the school board candidate, Guglielmo, wore a Trump hat.
Yeah, well, he's certainly made his name known out there. Brenda Hastings in Ward District C, 8, 9, and 10 up in the Heights. I think she's the only one that's running for re-election on the school board. And the way the school board elections rotate, it's every year. But some years it's wards, and some years it's districts, and some years I think they even still have some that are elected citywide. If I'm not correct or incorrect.
Well, usually every year and for a 3-year term, so that's how they
Yeah,
get to their 9.
And I was going to say Tom Croto's going into retirement, not to pick on Tom anymore, but no, he's running for treasurer
I think we can call that
race.
as a first race.
And up in Ward 1, Brent Todd, who's done probably 3 or 4 terms at least, forgive me for not knowing how many, he's an institution up there. He's going to be reelected unopposed. And in Ward 3, Jennifer Kretovic, who has run for several terms, is going to be elected as well. I'm not sure we have any other, let's see, we have, I've got a list here, but for the at-large candidates, Nathan Fennessy is, and I'm cribbing here.
Only incumbent.
He's the only incumbent. He's running again and run a strong campaign. You know, this was a strange year. The leaves are still up there. They didn't turn all those wonderful colors on schedule, but all the political signs out there, when I would be going to work down Auburn Street or down Franklin Street or some of the other streets, there was an awful lot of signs. It was pretty colorful. I wondered whether we should be getting a fee. This is from a conservative here, a fiscal conservative. Should we be getting a fee if you have more than 3 signs on your lawn? You know, we have a 3 sign. I've seen some that we had 4 or 5 signs on there. And
Well, it certainly was a robust election campaign. The candidates were out, and as you say, I had half a dozen offers to put somebody's sign in my yard.
Yeah.
And I'm in Ward 5, and both of the Ward 5 candidates came to my house twice to talk
Well, that's
to me.
good. That's good.
Just on Ward 5, I think that's one of the, of course, I may be parochial on this, but I
Oh,
think
you live
that's
there, yeah.
one of the more interesting ones, because the incumbent, Stacy Brown, has served 1 term, and usually when an incumbent is there, she doesn't receive a strong opposition, but her opponent, Werville, did a really robust campaign and brought the issues to her. Now, they disagreed on several issues, although it seemed, unless you read the fine print, that they were pretty similar in what they thought were the major issues. I think one of the issues that separated them was the issue of the golf course, with Stacy Brown placing other issues ahead of that. And of course, Werville was on the original committee that was looking at renovating the golf course.
That certainly will be, I think, a topic for discussion in the next cycle. Other people running at large, going back to Taylor Hall, who ran for mayor last time, he's running at large. Matthew Hicks from over in, I guess it's Ward 10, he's an
Yes.
educator, I believe.
Shaker Road principal.
And Judith Kurtz is 4 years in Concord. She's pushed facilitator. Homelessness was one of her big issues. And then Kevin Porter ran a pretty robust campaign as well. I mean, I was looking at, I've been getting an awful lot of things from presidential candidates, but certainly I think this was the biggest amount of things I ever received by mail. And I actually got an email today from Judith Kurtz, pretty much laying some issues out and telling me, you know, here's where I vote and this is what we should do. So I think that was the first time I've ever seen people getting into emails on that. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're awaiting some results. We think may take a while, and we got some video here. I don't know if we want to show a video now, or you want us to keep. We're going to do a video here. They went out, Concord TV went out and got the flavor and color of the campaign. So
we're at the barn at Bull Meadow. I love this end of Concord, living in Pennacook. It's a real diverse place where you have Pennacook, Concord, Merrimack Valley School District, and Concord School District. It's a blend of all of those, whether you're in 03301, 03303, but we all come together and serve our community together.
The turnout has been amazing. We have the last check, close to 300 voters, and I know the last election there was only 207 total, so it's been really, really good so far. It's very important to vote in your local elections for the City Council and for the Concord School Board, because that has the most day-to-day effect on you. Everything from your taxes to your roads that get paved, and the school board obviously for reasons of everything that's happening locally in your school districts. So it's very important.
City elections really impact your lives more directly than, say, a federal election. The city council approves budgets. They really control what you're paying day to day for taxes. So that is really important in your daily life, on whether roads are being plowed, leaves are being collected. That impacts you really directly all the time. And that's why it's important to show up for these elections.
No matter who wins, we have to all work together, because we all still live in the city and are hopefully all working for the betterment of the entire city. So no matter who wins, we're going to have to work together.
What is fantastic, especially about this election, is there's been so many people involved in voting. I'm hearing that we're going to have record turnouts today. That is fantastic. We have so many people who are running for office. That means that people are engaged in the community, which in the end, no matter what happens, who wins, who loses, the community wins, because that means we have more people who are wanting to be engaged in the process and help our city become better, and that's how we all win.
I have to tell you, all the people who are holding up signs were really glad to see the sun coming out, and I hear that it's been really cold weather in the past, so that was great. And everybody would have been up there, and even if it was raining or snowing, because everybody's so engaged with this election, which is so nice to hear, because these city councilors, the school board members they make the decisions that have a huge impact on our lives. So getting out and voting, it's just been an honor to be out here doing this.
Well, it looks like you're getting a good turnout. There's no excuse for people not to come out and vote. It's a beautiful day. Your local level is so important. This is what keeps the city going. And if you want to have a voice, come out and vote. That's very encouraging to see. I think it's good to see the diversity, and that there's so many other people that are interested in what's happening in their city.
Hi, I'm Michael. I've been here since 7 a.m. bright and early. It's been even more crowded most of the day. It sounds like it's going to be record turnout based on what everybody's saying, which is exciting, which is good for the community. It's good for Concord. And I think it's important that we're as civically engaged as we are. So we're all fortunate and happy to be here.
It is chilly, but the voters are turning out and we're excited. The weather's holding for us. Hi, I'm Xander Rice Hawkins. I'm the current Concord City Councilor for Ward 10. I'm up for re-election today. I'm out here because I'm working to make Concord the best place it can be to live, work, and raise a family.
My name is Jeff Foote, and I'm candidate for Ward 10 City Council in East Concord. Good governance, transparency, and accountability. I think we need that in East Concord.
My name is Fisto Ndashimir. I am from New Hampshire. I live in Concord, and I live in Ward 1. Well, today I woke up really early because I knew it was very important to get out and vote. So I went out and voted. I'm going to be holding signs for people who ask me to hold signs, and I'm loving it. It makes me feel like I have a purpose. I have something that I'm doing, even though I'm not running this year, but I'm doing something to help those that are running.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tanya Rochette. I am a resident of Ward 10, and I am out here today holding signs because it is important to be part of your municipal elections. it is important to have a voice. It is important to ask questions of those that you are electing.
Your local elected officials actually probably have the largest impact on what life looks like for you, whether it's school board candidates, city council. We make appointments for planning board, zoning board, a whole bunch of different decisions that are made in the city. And when the first thing you do when you go to call about an issue on your street, it's going to be your local elected official. So these are important elections. They're usually lower turnout, so really encourage folks to always pay attention, not just on election day, but throughout the year. See how people are voting, the statements they're making on your behalf, and make sure that you're staying engaged.
Local officials are the ones that really spend the bulk of your taxpayer dollars and have the most influence in your life, and that's why it's important to vote.
How roads are going to be accessible, how we're going to look at waste management, all those things that really do touch our lives day in and day out.
It is very important, especially as a young person, young professional in our community, also as a new American, to go and vote, because we get to determine leaders who is in a position of leading our community, and who's going to be making changes that we need as citizens of the community.
My favorite thing about Election Day is seeing the community come out, having great conversations. No matter who you're supporting, we're all here because we believe in Concord, we believe in our democratic process in America, and we want to be a part of it.
I do like to be able to see all the people that I see in different clothes all the time, so it's another way to get to know my neighbors.
That our community is still divided. The only way to fix that is for us as citizens to get out and vote, regardless the color, the race, where you come from, your background. I think it's very critical for everybody to get out and vote.
And those are some of the scenes around the city. It was a sunny day early and then some clouds, but we have our first results in Ward 7. Take it away, Roger. That's your ward.
Well, Ward 7 results are in, and we have perhaps an upset. The totals are Jim Schlosser, 552, to Keith Nyan, 422. Keith Nyan is a long-term incumbent, and his issues were fiscal conservatism, keeping a hold on the budget, and also the homeless issue was big in that area. And then retaining experienced people in our city government. Jim Schlosser is worked for 30 years as an experienced physician, and he's served as Veterans Health Administrator, and so he's got administrative ability, and he's run big budgets. So that's our first upset and first report. So that's significant, I think.
What do you got the mayor's race there too in Ward 7?
So for Ward 7, Byron Champlin has 800 votes, Kate West 135, and George Jack 38. So as you reminded me, Charlie, the mayor's race requires 50.1% or a majority, not just a plurality. Mm-hmm. And so if things continue like that, it looks like Byron Champlin may do well and not have to face a runoff.
Yeah. And the at-large results in Ward 7, Fennessy 481, Kurtz second at 421, Porter third at 373, Hicks fourth at 323, and Hall with 88. So it looks like 2 of those 5 will be elected. I think we'll see some variations around the city where people live and what their district is. But so there's our. We were talking about so many open seats on the council. 4 open seats, 4 new people. We'll potentially have a 5th person with Dr. Schlosser from Ward 7. So
we also have the results for school board in Ward 7, and Liz Boucher took that as 624 to Gib West's 285. Liz Boucher past PTO president of Crystal McAuliffe School, Gib West, 40 years as an educator, English teacher, and so that was a good contest. In the debates, you could see the dynamic between the two of them. They actually respected each other, and I thought gave compliments to each other, which is nice to see in a municipal election.
Well, it's certainly not something you see nationally as well. So there's our first results. It looks like we may have some more coming in here as they're going to pass them in. Thank you, I appreciate it. Looks like we may have one. What ward we got here? Ward 1 here. So Brent Todd gets 440 unopposed at large. This. Let's see, the at-large is Judith Kurtz has 195, Kevin Porter 184, Matthew Hicks 183, and Nathan Fennessy 176. Taylor Hall fifth with 94. So it looks like we're going to have a fairly close race. What do we got for the mayor's race there?
So the mayor's race follows the Ward 7. Byron Champlin leads 317. Kate West came in second with 147, and George Jack 32.
So that'll be, I guess that certainly we'll kind of see if there's any trends there. Certainly Champlin came out, had lots of signs, looked like he had planned ahead for this. He came out of the box real quick, signs everywhere, red, white, and blue. Was around, knows a lot of people in town, has paid his dues on the council, moved up from a ward council to at large.
And he was really the incumbent here because he had been Ward 4 councilor and then at large for a total of 10 years. So he knew the issues pretty well. And it looks like so far 2 wards are endorsing him heartily. I do have the Board of Education results for Ward 1. 2 of the candidates, Robert Avery and Christian Jackson, had actually dropped out. But the results are Jess Campbell, 76 votes, Mike Guglielmo, 9 votes, Christian Jackson, 10, and Robert Avery, 10. So Jessica Campbell did very well in that.
Certainly looks like she's well on her way. It'd be tough to, that's what, a 4 ward, although that's a small district.
That's the smallest one.
Now, turnout in Ward, I figured out the averages. We've had in Ward 1, which was not contested this year, but in past years, in 2019, 2021, Brent Todd had competition, nothing this year. The average turnout for those, 4 elections was 376, but the turnout in a non-competitive ward race was 512. So, oops, thank you. So what do we got here? We got Ward 4 here. I guess that's yours here. So what are we doing in Ward 4 here?
I believe that's yours, but why don't you read the?
Well, I'll do the at large,
Okay.
and the at large is 303 for 320 for Fennessy, 303 for Kurtz, 217 for Hicks, 206 for Porter, and 64 for Hall. McNamara wins 480, the incumbent, over 144 for Beauregard. And Tom Croto, treasurer, got 512 unopposed. What do we got for mayor there?
So for mayor, the trend continues. Byron Champlin, 476 votes. Kate West, 157. And George Jack, 30. Over on the school board, we had Jess Campbell continued her winning ways, 472 votes. Second was Guglielmo. Had 49. Christian Jackson, and I'm reading those 2 last, even though they outpolled Guglielmo. Sure. Christian Jackson 73 and Robert Avery 39. So those two candidates dropped out. It didn't look like it benefited the ostensibly second place candidate so far.
So the results continue. It's looking like we're going to have, I haven't had the total all three, but it looks like Fennessy as the incumbent, Kurtz, Porter, and Hicks are all going to have a long battle. It may go down to the last ward. Looks at this point like Taylor Hall is, thank you for putting your name on the ballot. You ran for mayor and made it competitive. And
well, Kurtz appears to be in second, just slightly right now.
Yeah.
And Hicks and Porter are close with, I think, Matt Hicks just momentarily.
Well, Ward 10 is usually a big turnout,
right?
so, and that's his area. Lots of signs over there. I didn't see as many signs out for him as I did for others, but in the past, you know, your name recognition, building name recognition, which is what some of the newer candidates had to do. There was an article in the paper on Werville and Kurtz and Porter had a lot of money. So money has had its influence in Washington for years and in the state to a lesser degree, although they raised some pretty serious money for $100 a year seats. And we'll see whether money is going to make a difference here in Concord this year and whether indeed the times are a-changing. So,
yes, well, it's so far we only have one incumbent that's been defeated.
But five new of 15. I mean, certainly Champlin, it looks like he's going to be mayor. He's already sitting there as well. And we'll have Amanda Grady Sexton is on a 4-year holdover, as well as Fred Keach. So we got some more results coming in here. They're coming in fast and furious. This is Ward 5. This is your ward. So why don't you make the call on that?
So for councilor, Stacy Brown, 660, Noemi Burville, 559. So very close vote. And in my opinion, two fine candidates. Yeah. I'll move over to Mayor. Byron Champlin, 980 votes. Kate West, 188 votes. And George Jack, 47. So it looks like Byron Champlin has it all but locked. Yeah. What do you get for at-large?
Well, Judith, this is Judith Kurtz's home ward, 670. Second place is Fennessy, 566. Third is Porter at 483, Hicks at 330, and Taylor Hall at 99. So maybe I'll be able to tabulate a four race total, but certainly Kurtz looks like with about 100 vote victory may have moved ahead of Fennessy in that race. Again, that's her home ward. I think is it Ridge Road or Auburn Street, lives out behind you?
Right. She's my next door neighbor.
Okay. And what do we got? Board of Education?
Sure. Board of Education, Liz Boucher, 761, and Gib West, 385. So I think Liz has got 2 out of the 3.
Yeah. It looks
pretty strong.
Tough to head off, but so we'll have the school board has 9 members. They're electing 3 members, 1 holdover, potentially incumbent Hastings up on the Heights, but we have nothing from up there yet. So at this point, I guess it's a little early, but it looks like Kurtz 60, about 20, 40. 17. It looks like Kurtz is ahead of Fennessy by about 75 votes, more or less, and I'm not sure what the gap is.
But I think it's significant. It looks like Fennessy and Kurtz are definitely leaders, and then Porter and Hicks are bunched closer together.
And we may not have gotten to their, Hicks certainly haven't gotten to Ward 10.
Yep.
But, I guess at this point, Hall is not going to be a contender in this race here. But But anyway, so here we are so far here. Let's see, I guess I had about 75 votes. It was 56. So there we are here. So Porter and Hicks are, and I guess for the virtue of the radio here, I'll read it off. We're being covered by WNHN. Kurtz is 1599 at 27.6%. Fennessy in second place, 1543, 26.7%. About a 350 vote gap. Kevin Porter, 1196. Matthew Hicks, 1103. And then Taylor Hall at 345. So looks like a significant gap there. Hicks and Porter certainly need a couple of big wards. Hicks certainly over in Ward 10. I'm not sure where Porter is. I don't think the monitor pretty much says where they live per se, unless, but anyway. So the results come on. We haven't invited any guests. We were maybe expecting Mayor Boulay to come in and make a guest appearance and tell us why he was moving on and taking some accolades for the good job he has done. But anyway, so, and I don't know if anybody...
And we also want to thank the town clerk's office. They're the ones that are getting our results, and they're coming in a little earlier than I expected.
I don't have my watch. What time have you got there?
7:36 right now.
Wow, this is, we've sat here 45 minutes other times, so
and
we appreciate Matt.
I'm sure the watching public appreciates that you and I don't have to do our song and dance.
Yeah, well, we put them to sleep early enough, so hopefully they've gotten their coffee here. So this is Ward 8, and that was a three-way race. I guess that's mine. So for Councilor, Ali Siku, 292, Dennis Susi, 115, and Jonathan Kate, 80. So we have a new councilor.
We have a new councilor.
Ali Siku, who works, I guess, in the food.
He's
at Hannaford's, or
he's at Hannaford's.
Hannaford's
That's right.
assistant manager
That's right.
there, a member of the New American community, although he's been certainly here for a while. What are we doing for mayor there? Anything out of the ordinary?
No, that's following the pattern. Byron Champlin, 311, Kate West, 133, and George Jack, 39. So so far it's smooth sailing for Byron Champlin. Do you want to do the
at large?
At large?
At large. Kurtz is 190, Fennessy 176, Kevin Porter, Hicks 160, and Kevin Porter 159, and then 87 for Taylor Hall. So Kurtz wins in Ward 8 on the south end of the east side of town. She wins by 14 votes over Fennessy, and about 30 votes over the third and fourth place. And what else we got? Board of Education.
So we got Board of Education, the incumbent, Brenda Hastings, 280. And then Casey Cameron, 98. Peter Sermanis, 66. So the incumbent, Brenda Hastings.
Big lead, yeah. It looks like it'd be tough to head off here, but so let's see. What else? We got some more here. All right.
They're
Well,
coming in
coming in
fast and
fast and
furious.
furious. Thank you to Janice Bonifant. This is Ward 9. I guess you want to do the mayor, not that it's...
Sure.
It looks like it's pretty much a foregone conclusion.
The
at this
mayor,
point.
336 for Byron Champlin. Kate West has 118, and George Jack, 43. So for at-large?
Yeah, well, for Councilor,
Okay.
Chris Schultz, 286, new Councilor Andrew Georgievitz, 218, a strong vote, but not quite enough.
That was pretty close.
Yeah, and at large, we've got Kurtz at 215, we've got Fennessy at 180, we've got Hicks at 174, and we've got Porter at 167. So Kurtz wins again,
Yes.
and Hastings hasn't yet held on to a seat, but
this
pretty
one,
tough to overturn.
This one, Brenda Hastings, 323. Casey Cameron, 83, and Peter Semanis, 55. So it looks 2 out of 3. Brenda Hastings is
It's like we can call that one certainly.
very,
And,
very strong.
So what do we got here? So we've got, looking at our new council, we have Brent Todd, we have Kretovich, we have Brown, so we have 3 staying on. We have an upset in number 7, or an incumbent losing, Schlosser, and Schultz is a new councilor in Ward 9, winning the open seat, and I guess Hastings certainly looks at it. We haven't had much on 5 and 7 on the school district between is it Boucher and West, although there was a fairly good vote for...
Boucher on 5 won rather handily.
It did in 5 and in, let's see, in 7, let's see.
In 7, yep.
And, okay.
We haven't gotten results for 6.
Okay, but...
The election in Ward 6, I think, was perhaps the least reported, because the candidates, the challenger appeared once on a forum by himself, and the incumbent, to my knowledge, didn't fill out any of the questionnaires.
And
Paula McLaughlin.
Yeah, and let's see, Ward 7 had, I think they said 512 votes. They've had contested races twice out of the last, this was the second time out of 5 years. Only a 512 vote, oh, excuse me, that's Ward 1, I'm sorry. But, so the council now, we've got Todd Kretovich, Stacy Brown, Dr. Schlosser, Seiko, and Schultz. We got a few S's there, Schlosser, Seiko, and Schultz. Easy for me to say. And so 3 new councilors. We're still waiting for 10 to come in. That's incumbent Xander Rice Hawkins against Foote.
And 6 is McLaughlin and Bellier.
And have we got 4 in? McNamara, I'm not sure. I don't think we do we? Yes, we do.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, we do. So, McNamara was reelected very handily. So, but anyway, so we got any more videos, or we got some more results coming in here?
We don't have Ward 2, do we?
No, I don't believe so. Oh, here comes some more results. Thank you. Let's see, what do we got here? We got Ward 2. Speaking of the devil, what are we doing for mayor there?
So, for mayor, Byron Champlin, 335, Kate West, 118, and George Jack, 43. It seems like I read those numbers before.
Yeah,
exactly.
Certainly. I guess you think we could pretty much call it for Champlin, and he's getting a majority of the vote here?
I think so.
And let's see, Councilor Ward 2, open seat, Earl Pierce stepping down after 2 terms, Michelle Horn, 259, and Rob Kleiner, 232. So we have...
So that was another very close one.
Close race. So we have another new councilor there. So there's... And then at large... Fennessy, 220 in first place. Hicks, 183 in second place. Kurtz, 178 in third. Kevin Porter, 148, and Taylor Hall, 88.
So that's tightening up for the top vote.
And Board of Education as follows the pattern in 1 with a little heavier vote. Jess Campbell, 176, Avery, 28, Guglielmo, 28, Jackson. So I think we can call Jess Campbell as the winner up in that District A. 2 big wins with 2 more, or actually 1 more to go, I guess. Waiting for 3 there. Yeah. But anyway, so any observations? We have a new mayor. We got quite a few on the new council.
Yes, so...
I see 4 right now, and we still have 6 out, and looks like we have 10 out.
10 out, yeah, right.
So we're going to have a new mayor, so we've got 4 new, and but anyway, so... And for those of you that ran, what's that saying? We're going to go to a video, okay. So we'll be back and we'll maybe do some more numbers here for you.
At Concord TV, our mission is to build community through media. We provide public, government, and education access resources, creating thousands of hours of local programming each year. Community members are welcome to stop by our production studio for a tour or a job shadow. And we have internship opportunities available for students looking to get into this industry. Concord TV is your community media center. Learn more at yourconcordtv.org.
So we're back. We're just looking at some numbers here. Over the last 4 years, last 4 elections, the average vote was 774 in Ward 5. This year, 1,244. That's your home ward. I happen to live on the edge of it, and obviously a lot of candidates up there. Werville, Kurtz, I believe,
Yep.
and Boucher, I think, is up there. And so they turned out the vote. Last time there were 3,600 votes, and 3 other elections in the 4,000 vote. But I think we'll have over 5,000 votes, which is good for a turnout. Democracy is live and well here in Concord, New Hampshire. For those of you that ran and didn't get elected, there's always other elections, and there's also other ways to participate, nonprofit boards, getting involved in PTO groups, and certainly a lot of opportunity for volunteerism. Mr. Soucy ran for the 8th time. We take our hat off for putting your name on the ballot. Georgievitz has run several times, and his father has run quite a few times as well. They're both very active in the community. And we'll see what the activism does as we look toward 2.5 months out when we have a presidential primary heating up. It's nice to see there's more presidential candidate ads than there are casino ads, but that may only last, although the open enrollment period seems to be taking away a lot of the other type ads.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
we have some more election results for Ward 6. For Mayor, Byron Champlin, 263, Kate West, 131, and George Jack, 26. For Councillor, Paula McLaughlin, held on to that seat 265, to Jay Bellier 122.
Yeah, 68 up on the screen, 68.5 and 100 to 31.5. So, as you said, neither one were really out front. That's always been a ward that's actually, I've always looked at that as more of a renter's ward than a homeowner's ward. And looking back, Linda Kennison was a councilor there and actually a state rep in that district. And a few years back, she actually ran a write-in campaign and won over 2 other candidates, and she served very admirably on that. But
So you want to look at the counselor at large?
yeah, I guess I haven't done that. So in Ward 6, Kurtz 203, Fennessy 159, Kevin Porter 156, Matthew Hicks 146, and Taylor Hall. And we've got on the screen, I don't know how many wards that's 100%, so we can call that one. So Fennessy wins 2967, 25.9%. Kurtz comes in second at 2883.
And is also elected then.
Yeah, also elected. So 2 are elected. Third place, Matthew Hicks at 2523, some 360 votes back. Kevin Porter, 2253, and then Taylor Hall there as well. So we have 1 new councilor there. Kurtz will put a circle around that. So we have another new one. So it looks like we've got a new mayor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll have 6 new faces in different seats, 5 new councilors, and we're still awaiting Ward 10.
Well, we have Ward 6, Board of Education, and Liz Boucher, 302, over Gibb West, 106. And so Liz Boucher took all 3 of those districts.
So we have
5 through 7, she won each one of them.
So we have 2 new school board members, and Hastings handily wins. Probably. And well, speaking of the devil once again, Ward 10 here. So what's our new mayor doing here?
He's continuing. Byron Champlin, 892 votes. Kate West, 150. George Jack, 72.
And for ward councilor, we have a new councilor, Jeff Foote, 603, and Zandra Rice Hawkins, 548. On the at-large race, this is Matthew Hicks's home ward, 629, Fennessy, 507, Kurtz, 358, Porter, 321, and Taylor Hall, 109. Of course, we have the final results up there we've read already. Fennessy winning by, 67 and 17 by 84 votes over second, and then, what do we say, about 360. So Hicks won the ward almost, I won't say 2-1 certainly, but over the next one.
Yeah.
What do we got for school? We got Hastings again.
Hastings, 811. Peter Sumanis, 125, and Casey Cameron, 123. So Brenda Hastings is reelected. I think going back to councilor, though, that's an upset. Jeff Foote beating Sandra Rice Hawkins.
Yeah.
It was a close race.
Looks like, 55 votes,
Right.
which certainly, people are entitled to recounts, but that certainly looks like a little bit more than what you might expect on a
Sure.
recount. I don't think anything I've seen here today is going to talk about recounts. What's that, 55 votes?
And I think we have our final
ward
is
here.
this Ward 3?
Ward 3. So, and do we still have Byron Champlin winning handily?
Well, he's got 262 to Kate West, 74, and George Jack, 27. And so that looks pretty definitive for me, from my standpoint. What about councilor at large?
Kretovic was unopposed. She got 314 votes out of 379 that were cast. They even in That was about average. 365 was the average there. At large, it looks like we've got Fennessy 182, Kurtz 140, Hicks 128, Porter 106, and Taylor Hall 55.
That mirrored the end results there.
Yeah.
For Board of Education, we can now say that Jess Campbell is the new Board of Education member. She received 240 votes. Michael Guglielmo got 31. Kristen Jackson, who dropped out, 46, and Robert Avery, who dropped out, 27.
And weren't you treasurer of the school? Oh, you were the clerk. No.
I was a treasurer.
And so
Roger Phillips and I tied. He was running for clerk, and I was running for. And of the 10 wards, it came out to a tie. So we had good fun with that one.
That's good. And treasurer here in Ward 3, Tom Croto, 309, a hometown boy, although he's not very young anymore like us, but. And he's served as a teacher, a principal. He worked his way through. He's been on the school board, and so we thank him for, again, serving in that position. But so let's see, what do we got up there? There's Zone A, Jess Campbell, which is 1, 2, and 3, 964, 70% of the vote. Jackson, 177 votes, 13%. That looks like the most resounding victory out there. Yeah. Guglielmo, 117, and Avery, 104. So again, so we're at record time here. We have no guests. I don't know how long we're going to go. I'm going to go down the list here, and maybe we can alternate here. Let's see. You've got the mayor and. 1, 3, 5, 6, 7. So have you got? We got a new mayor, right? Byron Champlin.
Byron Champlin's new mayor of Concord, and he easily won by more than 50%. So no runoff.
And he's been on. He started out in Ward 4 probably 6 or 8 years ago, and then Ward 4 was vacant, and no, at large seat was vacant when someone resigned to move up to become a judge, and so he then ran at large, broadened his base. There were rumors about how he might have challenged the mayor last time. He passed on that. But anyway, so at large, Nathan Fennessy stays on the council. He'll be with Amanda Grady Sexton and Fred Keach, the 2 holdovers, and they'll join Judith Kurtz. Kurtz will join. Brent Todd, unopposed. Incumbent stays in. Ward 2, an open seat. Horn wins, so we have a new councilor there. Kredovics, unopposed. McNamara, the incumbent, wins over Beauregard. Brown wins a close race over Werville up in Ward 5, up in your district, your area. Ward 6, McLaughlin, the incumbent, in I guess a yawner of a race. Nobody's told anybody much. She beats Bellier. Upset in Ward 7, Schlosser beats incumbent Nyan. We have a new councilor there. Siku takes a open seat up on Ward 8, taking Gail Matson's seat. Schultz takes Candace White Bouchard's seat in Ward 9, and we have a new councilor in Foote, who's a public works director in Bedford. So not a bad skill to have if you're involved with city government, having answered and faced many of the same problems. But so we're going to go to a video now, and
we're at the barn at Bull Meadow. I love this end of Concord, living in Pennacook. It's a real diverse place where you have Pennacook, Concord, Merrimack Valley School District, and Concord School District. It's a blend of all of those, whether you're in 03301, 03303, but we all come together and serve our community together.
The turnout has been amazing. We have, the last check, close to 300 voters, and I know the last election there was only 207 total, so it's been really, really good so far. It's very important to vote in your local elections for the City Council and for the Concord School Board, because that has the most day-to-day effect on you. Everything from your taxes to your roads that get paved, and the school board obviously for reasons of everything that's happening locally in your school districts. So it's very important.
City elections really impact your lives more directly than, say, a federal election. The City Council approves budgets. They really control what you're paying day to day for taxes. So that is really important in your daily life, on whether roads are being plowed, leaves are being collected. That impacts you really directly all the time. And that's why it's important to show up for these elections.
No matter who wins, we have to all work together, because we all still live in the city and are hopefully all working for the betterment of the entire city. So no matter who wins, we're going to have to work together.
What is fantastic, especially about this election, is there's been so many people involved in voting. I'm hearing that we're going to have record turnouts today. That is fantastic. We have so many people who are running for office. That means that people are engaged in the community, which in the end, no matter what happens, who wins, who loses, the community wins, because that means we have more people who are wanting to be engaged in the process and help our city become better, and that's how we all win.
I have to tell you, all the people who are holding up signs, we're really glad to see the sun coming out, and I hear that it's been really cold weather in the past, so that was great. And everybody would have been up there, and even if it was raining or snowing, because everybody's so engaged with this election, which is so nice to hear, because these city councilors, the school board members they make the decisions that have a huge impact on our lives. So getting out and voting, it's just been an honor to be out here doing this.
Well, it looks like you're getting a good turnout. There's no excuse for people not to come out and vote. It's a beautiful day. Your local level is so important. This is what keeps the city going. And if you want to have a voice, come out and vote. That's very encouraging to see. I think it's good to see the diversity, and that there's so many other people that are interested in what's happening in their city.
Hi, I'm Michael. I've been here since 7 a.m. bright and early. It's been even more crowded most of the day. It sounds like it's going to be record turnout based on what everybody's saying, which is exciting, which is good for the community. It's good for Concord. And I think it's important that we're as civically engaged as we are. So we're all fortunate and happy to be here.
It is chilly, but the voters are turning out and we're excited. The weather's holding for us. Hi, I'm Xander Rice Hawkins. I'm the current Concord City Councilor for Ward 10. I'm up for re-election today. I'm out here because I'm working to make Concord the best place it can be to live, work, and raise a family.
My name is Jeff Foote, and I'm candidate for Ward 10 City Council in East Concord. Good governance, transparency, and accountability. I think we need that in East Concord.
My name is Fisto Ndashimir. I am from New Hampshire. I live in Concord, and I live in Ward 1. Well, today I woke up really early because I knew it was very important to get out and vote. So I went out and voted. I'm going to be holding signs for people who ask me to hold signs, and I'm loving it. It makes me feel like I have a purpose. I have something that I'm doing, even though I'm not running this year, but I'm doing something to help those that are running.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tanya Rochette. I am a resident of Ward 10, and I am out here today holding signs because it is important to be part of your municipal elections. It is important to have a voice. It is important to ask questions of those that you are electing.
Your local elected officials actually probably have the largest impact on what life looks like for you, whether it's school board candidates, city council. We make appointments for planning board, zoning board, a whole bunch of different decisions that are made in the city. And when the first thing you do when you go to call about an issue on your street, it's going to be your local elected official. So these are important elections. They're usually lower turnout, so really encourage folks to always pay attention, not just on election day, but throughout the year. See how people are voting, the statements they're making on your behalf, and make sure that you're staying engaged.
Local officials are the ones that really spend the bulk of your taxpayer dollars and have the most influence in your life, and that's why it's important to vote.
How roads are going to be accessible, how we're going to look at waste management, all those things that really do touch our lives day in and day out.
It is very important, especially as a young person, young professional in our community, also as a new American, to go and vote, because we get to determine leaders who is in a position of leading our community and who's going to be making changes that we need as citizens of the community.
My favorite thing about Election Day is seeing the community come out, having great conversations. No matter who you're supporting, we're all here because we believe in Concord, we believe in our democratic process in America, and we want to be a part of it.
I do like to be able to see all the people that I see in different clothes all the time, so it's another way to get to know my neighbors.
That our community is still divided. The only way to fix that is for us as citizens to get out and vote, regardless the color, the race, where you come from, your background. I think it's very critical for everybody to get out and vote.
So we're back. Record time for the results. Kudos to all the people at the polls and city clerk's office for getting the information out here, as well as to Concord TV staff, Emmett, Matt, Josh, Mike, and Connor for producing the show and getting the results and doing the math. Just on the mayor's race here, 49-72, 74% for Byron Champlin. Kate West, 1351, 20.1%. George Jack, 397, 5.9%. But the interesting number there is added up, and it looks like we've got a 67-20 vote. Last election, there was, I had the numbers here, 3,600 voted and 4,500 in the prior three elections there. So this is the largest turnout. So democracy is live and well here in Concord, New Hampshire. Hopefully the activism continues. Roger's going to wrap up the school board races, and we're going to talk a little bit about what this results mean.
Yes, just to reiterate, for District A, that's wards 1 through 4, Jessica Campbell won overwhelmingly. Byron Champlin won with 74% of the vote. She won with 70% of the vote, which is pretty significant. Liz Boucher beat Gib West in an open seat. Those are districts 5, 6, and 7, and she won rather handily. And then the incumbent, Brenda Hastings, won in all her districts, 8, 9, and 10. The big issues for the school district, of course, are the siting and cost of the new Runlet Middle School. Also, kind of a shared issue is what are they going to do with Memorial Field, and how extensive is the renovation going to be? So those are a couple of big budget items that affect the school board portion, and I think there's going to be some cooperation from the city on Memorial Field. Looking at this overall, Charlie, what's your impression?
Well, on the school issue, the siting is one issue, and then obviously the costs are going to have a big impact. And for quite a while we were hearing of a middle school of $75 to $100 million, and now it's all of a sudden kind of jumped up to $150, $175 million, a significant impact. So that may be an issue that needs to be addressed by, what is the right size? Do we get the platinum version or the gold version or the silver version? But that may be something that some of these community groups like Concord Green Space got involved in the decision on deciding whether Clinton Street was an appropriate site or not. That group also got involved, shifting over to city issues, got involved with the Northwest bypass, maybe permanently putting it to rest, maybe not, but that would be a fairly significant expense if the city of Concord had to pay for a road, whereas, there's other ways you can manage traffic. But new housing, we've got 3,000 coming in. That certainly is going to impact, one, the population, two, school district taxes, more services will be needed. So it's going to be, tax base expansion is coming, but how are you going to manage that? Housing prices are up. I think the biggest issue, certainly homelessness, which is related to the housing issue. So I don't know. I mean, I was telling you earlier, there used to be dormitories, and there used to be a YMCA dormitory. There used to be a dormitory at the state hospital, which was single occupancy rooms. I don't know whether that needs to be looked at. The law school has 500 students there. They certainly take up some of the housing. I'm not sure where they fit in the mix, but so a lot of issues facing this council. I just counted up 6 new councilors and a new mayor, so there'll be 6 new faces and 1 changing chairs. But what's your take on the city issues?
Sure. From my standpoint, it doesn't look like there was significant change in the direction for school board.
Mm-hmm.
The candidates that were the most pro-education, or else I think in District B, they were similarly pro-education.
Yeah.
That's an oversimplification.
Yeah,
And Brenda
well,
Hastings
backgrounds on it, yeah.
Yeah, but on the city side, the city is looking at some big increases in the, what they're going to tax the public. And Mayor Booley was able to keep it at 3% or just under 4% for many, many, many years. And so we're looking at solid waste may jack up the property taxes. And so I think we saw the beginnings of some people running because of that. And but the outcome, I don't think, is at all clear. I can't say if you go a left-right continuum who wants to, or good government versus cut the taxes. I don't see that there's a pattern here. We did have a couple of flips. Board 7 was the first one, and Nyan has been kind of the conservative conscience on the board. And he was beaten by Schlosser. Certainly in Ward 8, I think Kate and Susie spoke the more conservative line, and Siko won it. Similarly, in Ward 9, Schultz beat Georgievitz, not by much, but that's sort of, Georgievitz ran a little bit to the right. But in Ward 10, Foote, in my mind, ran a little bit to the right, more fiscal conservatism than Rice Hawkins, and Rice Hawkins was defeated, which, so there are, to me, there's no clear view, but I think there's that closeness of the races. And I think we saw by the active campaigning and the vigorous campaigning by most of the candidates that these were big issues to be addressed. And I think that there's not a clear outcome that one side or view won. I think on the citing of the schools, I think, this side of the river wanted probably expressed more interest in building on-site. The other side of the river wanted the broken ground site. And so that's still up in the air, and there's so many questions as to the cost and, you know, and the plan for traffic.
Oh, yeah. And
those-
state school aid, if the state isn't going to get us on the list, we're not
Right.
going to be building a middle school. I mean,
So, yeah, and we're right on the penumbra of that.
Yeah.
So I think that there's no big changes yet on school board. I think the candidates pretty much ran as we're doing okay, and we want to keep it that way. We have to be sensitive to the taxes. But on the city side, I think there's no clear message, but it's not a big overturning of incumbents either.
Well, you know, the issue is for those that got elected and those that didn't, that you can still participate, you can still be part of this. Getting elected is not the end of it, it is the start of it, and don't forget who elected you. Going out for ward meetings and on Saturday mornings at coffee shops or at schools is certainly a way to stay in touch. To the citizen groups that were involved, Concord Green Space and some of the other active groups out there, the PTOs and others, it's important to stay involved. So democracy in city and school government only works if you stay involved. So those are my parting words, and it's 8:15. Hats off to the staff, and this is, I can't say wrap it up. Okay. So thanks. This is the earliest we've probably ever had the results in here, and Charlie Russell for Concord TV.
And I'd like to thank, again, Concord TV. They've done a great job. All those candidates who did not win, traditionally, you don't win the first time. And we've had some changes with that, but you're encouraged to try again because Concord and New Hampshire loves to vote. And we vote for everything every year, just about. And so if it's statewide, it's every 2 years. There's always a city election going on. So don't be too discouraged. I know you probably are now. Congratulations to the winners, and those who didn't make it, think about next time. So this is Roger Brooks wrapping up for Concord TV. Thank you for watching.
In 2.5 months, we'll be here with probably the earliest results reported in the New Hampshire primary. So we'll see you then. Thank you. Good evening.